there's no way that you can look at what we saw from the WNBA draft and not think that we are in a different space when talking about women's sports. You ever watch something and you know what the ending is going to be, but you're still intrigued, you're still enthralled in whatever you're sitting in, whatever you're watching? That was the WNBA draft. Going into it, we knew who was going to be number one. If there was anybody that thought that Caitlin Clark was going to be there at number two, you obviously haven't been paying attention to sports in general. The worst kept secret in the WNBA draft was Caitlin Clark was going number one. You didn't have no tampering, no nothing. From what we saw in college basketball and what we saw with Caitlin Clark, in fact, you know what's funny? We knew Caitlin Clark was going number one when she announced that she was going into the draft, and the Indiana Fever, who had the number one overall pick, I think their ticket sales went up astronomically. And on top of that, I think they sold out majority, if not all, of the season. When she announced that she was going to the draft in the middle of the season. So the best kept secret was Caitlin Clark was going to not only be drafted, but be drafted number one. Not only did that not stop people, because I think this was the first year that the WNBA draft allowed fans in, kind of like how the NBA draft does, the NFL draft. Obviously, it wasn't as big and grandioso as those, but this, I think, was the first year they allowed fans in. And they sold out, I think, in an hour. And when Caitlin Clark was drafted number one, shocker, I think her jersey on FanDuel was sold out within a couple minutes. Again, popularity is growing. I was looking. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Fanatics. It was not FanDuel. Fanatics. I was looking at this draft. While no, I don't think that any of these players outside of maybe Caitlin Clark when we look towards the end of her career, but I don't think any of these players are going to be on the same level as a Candace Parker, as a Diana Taurasi, as a Maya Moore, as a Elena Deladon, as a Tina Charles. I don't think they're going to be on that level, but I do think that this was the most important draft that the WNBA has ever seen and has ever had. Maybe not just because of the players, but because of what was at stake. You see, we talk about championship windows, right? And we say that championship windows are not always open. Like, they close when they close. Popularity is like that too. You want a perfect example? Look at the music business. Remember the song You're a Jerk? Remember Party Like a Rock Star? They were big in the moments when they were big. But when's the last time you turned on You're a Jerk? No offense to them, but popularity doesn't always last as long as you think. The Drakes, the Kendrick Lamars, the J. Coles, they're very rare. Having that level of popularity, that level of greatness for that long is rare. When popularity is at an all-time high, you need to strike when the iron is hot. That's kind of where the saying comes from. Because the iron is not always hot, you need to strike when it's hot. The reason why I said that this is the most important draft I think the WNBA has ever had, not only is this the most eyes I think the draft has ever had, thanks to the incredible women that are in the draft, especially Caitlin Clark, but this is probably the first time in a while that the WNBA is getting a fresh pair of eyes, fresh pair of new fans. And you want to put on the best show possible. Not saying that the draft has to be the best show, but you have to put yourself in the best light possible. Because again, I don't think you look maybe 4 or 5 years from now, Caitlin Clark could be killing in the WNBA, but the fandom, the popularity is never going to be as big as it is right now. Unless you make the right steps now. I think, and on top of that, it's not just Caitlin Clark. I was watching the draft, and it was shot. Now, I'm a person, again, that watches a lot of basketball. I watch a lot of women's college basketball. Watch a lot of WNBA. I watch a lot of NBA, a lot of men's college basketball. I was shocked at myself for how many women I knew in this draft, and how many women that other people on social media knew in this draft. From Cameron Brink, from Camila Cardoza, from Rakia Jackson, from Aaliyah Edwards, who obviously my team, the Washington Mystics, drafted. Angel Reese, Elisa Pilley. And on top of that, you even go to the other rounds. You have Deasia Fair. You have Kate Martin. You have Jessica Carter. Liz Kitley from Virginia Tech. I don't think there will ever be as many eyes on the WNBA as there is right now. And I don't mean that the WNBA is going to go back to a time where nobody cared. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, because there are so many eyes on the WNBA, this is the time that you need to get everything right. And it seems like presentation-wise, they're doing everything right. The draft was entertaining to watch. Shouts out to the team. Shouts out to Holly Rose. Shouts out to Andrea Carter, Rebecca Lobo, Ryan Russello. Like, shouts out to all of them. The WNBA is at a very rare spot in their lineage, and that is their popularity is at an all-time high. And that's even with, or even going against, when they were at their heyday with, the Shocks and Cheryl Swoops and everything. So again, I don't think that there is a all-time player in this draft outside of Caitlin Clark's potential. But I do think that this is one of the best drafts we've ever seen. I mean, again, look at the decorated. Outside of Caitlin Clark and everything she's done for the college game, Cameron Brink is one of the greatest college, or most accomplished, let's say, college players of all time. You have we have Angel Reese won a national championship. In fact, brought LSU their first national championship. So what I'm saying is, congratulations to everyone that got drafted. Everyone that got drafted, and unfortunately, things that aren't going to change overnight. How the WNBA is, a lot of these players are not going to be able to make the team due to roster constraints, roster size, which sucks. But you will never be able to take away the fact that they did get drafted to the sport that they love and to the sport that they want to be in. So shout out to everyone that got drafted. Not only did you fulfill a lifelong dream, but if you don't make the team, that doesn't mean that you're not good. That doesn't mean that you didn't deserve to be drafted. I think that, as unfortunate as it is, there's just not enough space in the WNBA right now, which sucks. But hopefully that gets. I mean, that's going to change soon, seeing as though there is expansions happening. But shouts out to everyone that got drafted. Definitely deserved. I mean, do you want to know how much talent was riddled in this draft? Deasia Fair, who I think was second or third all time in scoring, maybe, she was in the second round. Nakia Malou, I definitely said your last name wrong. I apologize. She's probably one of the best, if not the best, guard defender in this draft. She was second round. Like, it's, yeah. Charisma Osborne, who played for UCLA, she was getting buckets. She's third round. Ashley Owuzu, who was from Maryland, shouts out to her. She got drafted third round. Oh, and shouts out to Angel Jackson, one of 3 players ever to be drafted from HBCU. She went to Jackson State. So, yeah. I will say, you know what? I will say congratulations and shouts out to the WNBA, because at least from the start of it, they've been doing it right. I understand there's players that aren't too thrilled about the coverage that Caitlin Clark has been getting. I get it. But, damn, I never even turned the thing. But, yeah, shouts out to them. And shouts out to every single young lady that got drafted. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited to see what they do in the draft. In the league. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.